Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So recently I've seen a large complaint from the War Thunder community in general about parts and FPE on stock tanks. And whilst I generally agree with the general community's consensus, there are a couple of things that I would like to point out. First of all, be polite. Don't be assholes and don't be children, because this is not how you make progress with the developers. You see, the way they seem to work, and maybe this is a Russian thing, maybe this is a thing with Russian people, but it does seem to hold with people in general, is if you give them respect, they will give you respect. So, as a community, what we need to do is, if we want to see this change, we need to be polite, we need to, whilst being direct and quite upfront, we still need to hold basic respect for the developers. Do not call them names. Do not find ways to piss them off. Do not keep bugging them about this. What you need to do is go onto the War Thunder forums. I'll put a link in the description below. Go on Reddit and talk politely. Do not be assholes about it, because the developers will be assholes back to you, and you will not make any change. You'll just stir up a whole heap of shit for nothing. Now, with that out of the way, I'd like to actually talk about some personal ideas that I think would be really good, or something that would work for both the developers, who need to make money, and for the players who want a semi-playable tank right off the bat. Now, for stock tankers, when they first unlock their tank, they have no parts, no FPE, no performance upgrades, no artillery, smoke, better shells, whatever. All of that I can generally agree with, except the ability to repair. Now, in War Thunder, the ability to repair your tank in the battlefield is pretty crucial. And the ability to put out a fire is also extremely crucial. Now, recently Gaijin was thinking of adding... I'll start with the fire extinguishers. So, recently they were thinking of adding the third modification, the third fire extinguisher, as a pay-to-win rubbish. It was rubbish, and Gaijin rightly so pulled it before they put it to the live server. Now, what you could potentially do is start people off with a single fire extinguisher, and then with the FPE modification, you could give them 3 fire extinguishers. Or even just 2. Even just 2. And I think what that would do would whilst it makes it a lot easier for newer players, it also limits them to the number of fires that they can actually extinguish. And I think the reason why I picked 3 was because there is actually a considerable jump from 1 to 3 fire extinguishers practically on the battlefield. If you shoot someone in the rear of the tank 3 times and set them on fire, they'll still be able to put that out. But if they're stock, they'll only last 1. And for me, I think that is a big enough advantage for playing the game and playing that tank to warrant that first free fire extinguisher. Now, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. The second thing is obviously the parts. Now, I think personally parts should come stock, but again, the developers need to make money. So my proposal is double the reload time, or triple the reload time. The repair time, sorry. So that when you're on the battlefield and you need to repair your turret ring, instead of taking 5 seconds, it'll take 15 seconds. Now, that won't be as good, but it means you'll have to rely on your team, and we all know what teams are like in online games, but it will still require some bit of playing the game to better your tank. And this isn't a way that is so drastic that it removes any it removes the pain, because let's face it, grinding a stock tank is painful, and the whole idea of making parts and FPEs supposedly free is to make it easier. But again, you've got to look at it, the developers need to make their money. And rightly so, because they've made this game from scratch. You haven't, so nothing. You don't get a free lunch. You have to actually do something, right? And so tripling or doubling or tripling the repair time is personally my solution. Now, I'm not going to post this video on the forums or on Reddit or anything like that. You can if you want. Feel free to share it around. But I have been a bit gruff, a bit rude, I would say. So maybe it won't fly on the War Thunder servers. But feel free to share this around on any Discord servers and have a discussion about this in the comments. I'll probably leave a link to certain other YouTubers that have made discussion videos on this, and you can also gather their opinions. Now, I don't want to make a massive fuss about this because while it is an issue, for me, the stock grind it's more of a learning experience for me. I go through stock grinds and I just don't care. If I die, if I get set on fire, I just don't care. And that's the way I personally roll. So for me, it's not as big an issue, whilst it still sucks if you get your turret ring shot out. Oh look, got to run back to the cap and you're at a mouse. But I do understand where everyone is coming from. And I do think that there is some sort of issue. I also feel that everyone has made some sort of point on it, and I feel like I'm just repeating myself. Anyway, ladies and gents, take care. Sorry for the rough tone. I don't want to say fed up with ranting or fed up with seeing this. It is a little bit annoying, but I tell you what, if we can all sort of band together and be polite, make that a big thing, please. Be polite. Don't be rude. Don't be obnoxious. Don't be childish. That's the most frustrating thing for me. But I understand that there are issues, but we need to work calmly, and we need to work methodically, closely with the developers, and be respectful. Take care, guys, and I'll catch you next time.